When they're at practice, Shedeur Sanders is not their priority. When he is at practice, he was staying hours beforehand, leaving hours later.
I'm outraged, I'm sickened, and I'm saddened. By the way, Shedeur continues to be treated in the National Football League, now by those sorry-ass Browns and sorry-ass Kevin Stefanski.
I understand in a situation like that, when it comes to the 3s and 4s that you're playing with that aren't going to be on the squad and not going to make the team, give your quarterback a chance. Okay, you know what? You know they can't hold up that long? Let's play quick game. Let's play quick just to get Shedeur in the goddamn rhythm. But no, you come out, calling regular offensive plays.
Last night, Shedeur Sanders wasn't just thrown into the game. He was set up to fail. This wasn't some random move. It looked completely intentional. From the second he touched the field, it was obvious it was Shedeur against the entire system. The Browns and their coaching staff wanted to crush his hype and kill his momentum. But the twist. Their own plan exploded in their faces. Now analysts and journalists are circling, calling out Kevin Stefanski and the Browns front office for deliberately sabotaging Shedeur during the preseason.
Now, analysts and journalists are gathering around to expose Stefanski and the Browns administration for their role in setting up Shedeur for failure in the preseason.
I'm going to answer this question by saying Shedeur Sanders, and I'm going to tell you why. I think he's being set up to.
First up was Stephen A. Smith, who claimed he saw this whole preseason setup coming from day one. He predicted that from the very first snap to the last, the entire plan was built to drag Shedeur Sanders down. Smith even said Shedeur starting the opening preseason game wasn't a chance at success. It was a straight-up trap designed to humiliate him. According to Smith, the real agenda was to make Shedeur flop, to push the narrative that he's nothing more than a late-round QB and to hand his doubters the proof they've been waiting for. That might have been the story before preseason even kicked off, and some argue it was rigged from the start, but let me tell you, things didn't stop there. Once again, people are calling out Kevin Stefanski for what he did to Shedeur, throwing him into a system he'd never touched before, just to watch him crash. Garrett Bush didn't hold back, stressing that no matter how hard Shedeur worked, before or after practice, he was never treated like a real priority in their plans, because the goal was never to build him up, it was to break him down.
When they're at practice, Shedeur Sanders is not their priority. When he is at practice, he was staying hours beforehand, leaving hours later.
Kevin Stefanski, however, doubled down and refused to budge, putting all the blame for the struggles squarely on Shedeur Sanders. Reporters pressed him about the fact that Shedeur had only been practicing with the third and fourth stringers all week and whether that contributed to his mistakes, but Stefanski brushed it off. Instead of admitting Shedeur might have been better prepared with first-team reps, he dismissed the idea completely. He hid behind the claim that his job was simply to develop rookies. But really, what kind of coach buries a promising prospect, denies him any real first-team opportunities, then throws him into the fire expecting him to flawlessly run plays he never even practiced?
I think with all of our players, Mary Kay, there's things that we can do better, and there's some good moments out there, but that's what our job as coaches, to develop our guys.
Skip Bayless also jumped in on the situation, tearing into the Browns for the way they treated Shedeur Sanders and calling it the absolute worst approach possible. He pointed out that this wasn't some isolated blunder. This was part of a disturbing pattern of Stefanski and the Browns constantly mishandling Shedeur. According to Skip, it was obvious Shedeur wasn't being given the opportunities or support any young QB needs. Instead, the Browns piled on the pressure and made it nearly impossible for him to succeed, sabotaging his growth before it even had a chance.
I'm outraged, I'm sickened, and I'm saddened. By the way, Shedeur continues to be treated in the National Football League, now by those sorry-ass Browns and sorry-ass Kevin Stefanski.
This was never about Shedeur failing, it was about the Browns making sure he couldn't win. From the coaching staff to the system, the setup was clear from the start. Now the truth is out, and people are finally calling it what it is, pure sabotage. Stay tuned for more unfiltered takes. Don't forget to subscribe.